purpose of this video is to demonstrate how Pinnacle Training Systems does our biometric screening, and you can use it for the remote screenings as the proper technique to do the various measurements that we do here through Pinnacle Training Systems. So this is my awesome assistant, Tam. My name is Felicia Gomez, and I own Pinnacle Training Systems. So the first thing that all individuals who are getting screened need to do is sign a consent form. We will be providing all the material for you, but this is a consent form. The front and the back, they absolutely need to fill this in before you do any screening. The second data sheet that you're going to have is the actual biometric screening data sheet, and it will look very similar to this. This might not be the actual form, but very similar to this. So you're going to ask the individual to fill out just the top part, and then we will do everything from biometric screening downwards. The first thing you want to ask the individual is, did they do a health risk assessment online? If they did not, then don't worry about it. Beside this little box that says HRA, just write no, and we will take care of that from our end. You can see this little box. Just on the other side or somewhere indicate no. If they have done the health risk assessment online, which they should have done, then you can check that box. Okay, now we're going to start with the actual measurements. So the first thing we're going to do is a height measurement. So I'm going to ask Tam to please take off your shoes. And you will be provided a standometer very similar to this one. You're going to ask your client to put their back towards the standometer and face forward, and then you're just going to slide this down. And what you're going to see here is centimeters and inches. And so you want to read it off of the inches side. So she's essentially 5'4" and a quarter. Okay? It's interesting because most people think that they are taller than they are. So you're going to write under height 5'4" and a quarter. The next thing that you're going to do is take their weight and percent body fat, and you're going to be provided a BIA machine, which is bioelectrical impedance. It's a little bit different than the one that I'm going to use here. So the other thing that you need to do is ask your client to please take off their socks because it does send an electrical current through their body. Now, some of your clients may have nylons on. Usually it will work through nylons. It really depends on how thick the nylons are. If they don't mind taking off their nylons, then that's ideal. Okay? So on our machine, we need to plug in a few things like their age and their height. Like I said, the one that you're going to be using is slightly different. Once you've plugged in the data that you need to for your client with your BIA machine, then you're going to ask them to step on when it's ready. And what will happen is that it will give you their weight and their percent body fat. Once you have their weight and their percent body fat, then you will just write it down in the data sheet. Okay, then the client can put their socks and shoes on. Sometimes people are going to ask you questions. Is this a good number? Is this not? You're to refer to Pinnacle Training Systems when you do their wellness coaching for interpretation of their results, okay? So the next thing you're going to do is a waist circumference. Tam has a really narrow waist. She has a natural waist. So in that case, you're going to always take the measurement from the side. You're going to do her natural waist. You're going to measure her natural waist. And so for her, it's about, and you're going to do it in centimeters, okay, about 69 centimeters. Now let's say that she does not have a natural waist. Let's say she's more up and down, or you can't see her natural waist, or she's male. She's male. Let's pretend you have a male. You're going to take it at the level of the belly button. And it's always good to ask your client, can you just point to your belly button? And then you're going to take it at the level of the belly button. Okay? And so for her, at the level of the belly button, it's about the same. Okay? But you want to either take it at the natural waist or at the level of the belly button. The next measurement you're going to take is the hip measurement. The hip measurement is the largest area around their butt. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is their tape measure is cockeyed. Okay? It needs to be absolutely straight across. Okay? And then you take it from the side, okay, and you look at centimeters, okay, which in her is 94. So that's how you do the waist and the hip measurement. Next, you're going to take her blood pressure. So she's going to have a seat. We're going to provide you with an automated blood pressure cuff that looks just like this. Now, Tam is wearing a short sleeve shirt. If possible, you do want the person to have a bare arm. You also want their arm to be relaxed. It might be that you have to hold it, but have them relax, okay? If they have a sweater on that you can't fit this up under the sweater, then you can take it over the sweater, but the chances of you getting a high reading it's very probable. So in that case, if you do get a high reading, just on the data sheet by blood pressure, just write over a sweater, okay? So you're going to put the blood pressure cuff, this is where the artery is, it says ART. You're going to put it on just like this. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is putting it on backwards, okay? And just have it snug. Make sure that she's not compressing any of the cords and that she's relaxing, and you hit start. It's very simple. And you just wait for the blood pressure cuff to do its thing. The biggest mistake that people make is putting it on upside down. This needs to be going downwards. So her blood pressure is 134/74. And so I write that. Okay? So if you want to come and zoom in on the data sheet, she has done her HRA, so I'm going to check that off. Okay, I've done her BIA is bioelectrical impedance for her percent body fat, her height, her weight, her girth, and her blood pressure. So I'm going to check that off. This here is for blood work. So if you do have a phlebotomist, we will let you know which blood tests. We will already mark them off and let you know and let the phlebotomist know which blood tests need to be done. Okay? The wellness coaching we will do through Pinnacle Training Systems. So you don't have to worry about any of that, okay? The only other measurement that we would like you to take is the calculate the waist to hip ratio. And all you do is you take your calculator and you divide this number by that number, which I don't have a calculator on me, but let's just say it's 0.75. All right? And then if you do want to let your client know whether they're male or female based on these ideal numbers, then that's okay. Otherwise, I want you to just refer them to their wellness coach that will be contacting them within a week. Okay? And that's how you do the biometric screening from a remote location. Thank you very much.